Y'all, I'm so bad at this vlogging business. I really be trying. I really be trying. But we are about to leave this winery. What's called Layton's Choice Winery. And then we are going to the jetty. And then we are going to get some crabs to take home. And I'm going to try to take you guys with us for the rest of this adventure. I should have been recording from the time we pulled off and left Baltimore.
Oh, you have to go and get some videos of the grapes.
Yeah, I gotta go get some grapes. I'll be right back. So y'all, this is the winery. It's so gorgeous out here. That's the winery. It's super cute. They wines will get you lit. And these are the beautiful grapes. And they have rows and rows and rows of grapes. It's absolutely stunning and peaceful out here. Look at the sky. It's the absolute perfect day. Okay, now we're going to get food. That's the only negative about this super cute winery is they don't have food, which I understand why, but they need to like have maybe some food trucks or something. Let's go. This is what being married to her is like. We had to stop and turn around just so she could take a picture of a damn peacock. Because she wants a peacock.
I don't remember. What's the address? Because I'm going to ask the owner. Maybe they have another one. And I think it's some eggs. That's a male, though. Because it's blue like that.
This is what you go through. This is married. Like, we've been talking about, like, our forever home. Like, we love our home. But, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's a freaking peacock. It ain't like it's a parakeet.
What's the difference?
So we talk about our forever home. We don't necessarily want to sell our current house. We'll probably give it to family or something. But when we get our single family house in a little land, this woman wants a peacock, some chickens, and a mini pig.
Yep.
I'm from the city, okay? I'm from the city. The only birds we have is like the peacocks, little parakeets you have in your house.
I got pigeons. What you mean?
Pigeons don't be in our house. Stop hating. Stop. See, this is how them country people be hating on us for the city, but all of them be bringing their ass to the city.
What you doing in the country?
Because you wouldn't have found nothing homegrown like this in the country, honey. The hell. This is what I go through. This is 8 years.
That's why your ass over that Bay Bridge now.
I ain't drive over it though. You drove me. This is 8 years. It's 8 years today, babe. How you feel?
Continue on US 50 West for 11 miles.
8 years of marriage. When we tell people that, people be like, "Y'all been in a relationship for 8 years?" No, we've been married for 8 years. I think we were dating for 6 months. So we've been together for 8.5 years.
When you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
You know.
When
You know. Hold on, babe.
She's been trying to kill me. See, I got witnesses now. She's been trying to kill me for 8 years.
Shit, I'm trying to get on this damn highway.
What do you think it took, or what did you think we had to do to have lasted 8 years?
You know what's crazy is that a guy asked me this yesterday. He was like, what is the key to like a successful marriage? And in my opinion, I think it's just honesty, 100% honesty, and being comfortable with your partner enough where you can share and have those difficult conversations. It takes a lot of taking yourself out of yourself and your own feelings out of the situation so that you can see things from a different perspective, because I know I was set in my ways in a lot of things, and it took for me to completely understand your perspective, not just understand what you're saying, but overstand the whole situation before I could be able to not be an asshole about certain things and just completely understand totally and just listening. It's a lot of listening, taking a lot of stuff in. It's not all about you. A lot of times it's not even
that part. A lot of people that we know has been going through it, like with relationships or in a marriage or like even family. And I think one of the biggest problem is a lot of people don't understand that it's not always about them. And I think that's something that the both of us had to understand. I think the key to a successful marriage is communication and trust. Because if the trust isn't there, or if the trust is lacking, or it's just half-ass, you're not going to be comfortable enough with your partner to have hard conversations with. And if you can't have hard conversations with your person, why is they your person?
Man, let me tell you, cuz you used to piss me off when you would say that I wasn't good at communicating, and that really offended me because I thought that I was good at communicating. But once I realized what you needed from me as far as the communication, and hindsight being 2020, now I'm like, okay, now I can understand how she feels as if, or she felt that way, you know, that I wasn't good with communication. And it took a lot of hard conversations. It wasn't always easy.
It's like a lot of people, they look at our relationship and they be like, oh, I want to be like y'all. And they be like, oh, y'all marriage is so perfect and it seems fun because we're smiling all the time and we have a great time all the time. And that is true. We have a great marriage 96%, I would say 96% of the time. I'm truly married to my best friend. Like, I would not have it any other way. But that 4% that's left over from the 96 was hard as hell. And it's like one of her biggest issues in our marriage in the past, because when I say we did a 360 degree turn, the married couple we are today, I'm proud of. Like, I would have never thought we can get here 2-3 years ago. But
Knock
it's
on wood. We ain't trying to jinx.
but communication was her biggest issue. For me, I feel like me being so independent was my biggest issue, and because I was so independent, I didn't fully understand how it affected her. And because it was affecting her, that contributed to a lot of her communication problems. So it's like a lot of things come in like a circle, and sometimes you just have to take your part and own that piece and figure out what to do about it. And for me, it wasn't like I was independent to try to just disrespect her as my partner or say F your feelings, because I think a lot of times before we had those difficult conversations, she thought that that's how I felt, like F her feelings. But it came from me always having to fend for myself. Like, even as a kid, I wasn't protected, you know, physically or emotionally, so I had to do that myself. And then becoming an adult and becoming a mom, I had to do everything myself. And when that happens, it's just second nature. It's kind of like waking up. You know, every morning you wake up, you're gonna brush your teeth and you're gonna take a shower. That's just how it was. So when we got married, because marriage was new to both of us, it never registered that I needed to change that. It never registered that I needed to include her in decision making and stuff like that. So I think 8 years, we made it to 8 years because we had to stop and look in the mirror and tell ourselves to chill the fuck out.
Yes, there's more than one way to get things done. And like you don't have to always, like, you know, you're set in your ways. We're all adults, so you have a way of doing things. And I think that sometimes we just are so set in those ways that we don't see any other way of doing things.
Definitely.
And everybody, there's more than one ways to get a kid. So
yeah. So here we are, 8 years. 8 years.
8 years. That's
Yeah.
gave me the greatest gift that I never thought I ever wanted, which was a family. My daughter, now we got a damn dog.
That she loves.
Right, my son.
8 years. We got together. My daughter was in middle school. And she will be graduating college.
I'm so proud. I can't wait.
In December. So it's like that stuff you see on TV, the marriages and the marriages you read about in all of the novels and stuff. It's truth to that. It can happen, and that can happen for you, but the only way it can happen for you is if you check yourself.
You know what? I'm gonna say this too. Sometimes you gotta check the people around you too, like your family and stuff like that, because sometimes people have unrealistic expectations on your relationship, and for people who are and do have like that tight family aspect and stuff like that, a lot of times they allow their family to, you know,
step into their marriage too much.
They doing too much, and sometimes it's okay to just, you're not letting them go, but you just, you know, you doing you for them.
You gotta put the family you built first.
Yeah.
You know,
you would be with them for life if you didn't.
And that's and if they truly love you, they will understand that. And unfortunately, sometimes the people that don't understand that, you have to set a boundary and either deal with them at a distance or not deal with them at all. Because when you're married, it's about you and your wife, or you and your husband first.
You and your they or them.
Your they or them, or whatever y'all want to say. Your her, your him. You know, your her, she, him, he. You know, whatever you want to do.
About your preference.
We're not joking about. We just saying.
They trying to fit
you
nobody.
know,
Don't flag the fucking video.
So you gotta, you know, you have to put your person.
I'm a she.
Period. Your person.
She, her.
That. You have to put your person.
Tits and ass. That's what I'm gonna start identifying. They're gonna be like, what do you identify? TNA. What's that mean? Tits and ass?
Oh my God. It's all about just, like I said, you have to own your shit. And that's when it comes. And sometimes part of owning your shit is owning the family that you come from. Because a lot of times we come from stuff that we are used to, and we think that's normal, and we think that's how it's supposed to be, because that's what we witnessed when we were growing up, when in the reality is that's not okay. And until you understand that what happened yesterday was not okay yesterday, so it shouldn't be a thing today, that's going to affect your unit.
Babe, let me tell you, it wasn't until approximately 30 days ago that I realized the level of asshole that I am, and I feel like I truly want to apologize to you, because
baby,
seriously, it's like the shit just hit me, like, yo, I really like that. After the shit that I have experienced in the last 30 days or so, I'm just like, man, I'm sorry.
Baby, you don't.
I'm truly sorry, because I can only imagine how I have made you feel in those moments of being an asshole.
It's not. It wasn't okay. It wasn't okay, but it's okay. So you don't have to apologize. You don't.
I feel bad.
It's like it's like when you, as long as you marry your best friend, you gonna have a successful marriage.
Yeah, and accountability is also important.
Accountability is important, and ownership is important.
My wife ain't never know shit. I apologize. Huh? That was not something. Let me take my shit. That was not something in her vocabulary.
It wasn't.
but in your defense, I will say I probably was like an over apologizer. Those things just didn't have the same weight for each other. So for me, it means a lot for you to say, hey, I apologize, you know, this, that, and the third, and you say it as opposed to the action. Mm-hmm. But you know, for you, when I be like, I apologize for this, you be like, well, all you do is apologize. I'm just like, well, damn. That shit don't mean nothing, because I wish you would apologize to me.
I think that both of us didn't understand that You know, sometimes actions speak louder than words, and I think that's something, and that's vice versa. And I think that's something that a lot of people forget when they are building their relationships. Because even if you've been with somebody for 5 years, I personally feel like it doesn't take years on years and years to figure out whether or not you want to spend your lifetime with each other. Because if you marry a person after 30 days, it's a chance you go get divorced. I know people that's been married for 30 years, and guess what? They got divorced.
You see, for me, like, I knew from day one you was down for me, so your actions already proved to me that you love me. I needed to hear the words. I needed to hear, I apologize, babe, because your actions always have lined up with your feelings. But it's just that you know, coming out of the mouth shit.
Yeah, it's like you gotta.
And that was important for me.
A successful marriage is a lot of self-reflection. And because you have to reflect on oneself before you have to be any and everything for yourself before you could be something for somebody else. And that's just the way it is. And the number 2 thing that's going to make a successful marriage is to keep people out of your fucking business. Keep people out of your business. Don't be running the social media every time it's a problem in your unit, because when you do that, people go feed off of that, and they go try to slide in and to either break what you have because they mad that you're happy, or they're going to try to slide in with their biased opinion to try to get what you have because they jealous because you have it and they don't. You have to keep people out of your business. And when I say people, I mean everybody.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Maryland Avenue.
We're not talking about like somebody, a person has tried to come in and, you know, infiltrate our relationship, like try to get with either one of us. Was this word? No. Try to get with either one of us on that type of level. It's like people that you really have close relationships with, that you think that, you know, is really down
for you. Turn left onto Maryland Avenue.
Not that. Those people who try to get with you when you with somebody, that's a whole nother lower level shit. We ain't even talking about that. We're not even addressing that shit, because I'm secure with my wife. I ain't worried about her.
Continue for half a mile.
I don't got time
in
for
that
shit.
manner.
I'm 41 years old. I'm 41 years old. I don't got time for that shit. I'm too lazy to cheat. I'm too lazy to go out here and get somebody else. I don't got no energy for that. If I tell her all the time, if we divorce, anything other than cheating, I feel like we could get counseling for.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But if we divorce, she's done. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like the both of us at a place like we have accomplished so much together, you know, emotionally, as far as our energy, financially. We own a home, we have a business, our daughter is about to graduate college, we're about to take our daughter on a trip that's going to cost like 10 bands. Like, it's like we have so much to be proud of. So for me, if one of us do some stuff like that, you're done.
In 1,000 feet, turn right.
It's been energy. It's like a lot of energy takers, and you have to understand that the day you say I do is the day that person you say I do comes first before anybody. I mean, excluding your kids, of course, but before anybody else. Like, even our mama, like, we love our mamas, but your person comes first. You know, like, I love my mother-in-law. She's freaking awesome. I'm gonna let y'all meet her one day. She's like the Black Mary Poppins. Love her to death.
Turn right onto High
But
Street.
if me and her mom ever had an issue, thank God we never have. But if it came down to it and she felt like her mom was wrong, she's gonna check her mom.
I'm gonna take a picture of that when we come back. I wanna know what that is.
Just like with my mom, if my mom stepped across the line, my family has stepped across the line a lot of times.
Turn right onto High Street.
A lot of times. Guess who checked their ass? You gotta put your people first, and then you'll have a successful marriage. But back to the drinks.